Welcome to God's Way, YTV. I'm Adolphina, Shephard. This is my co-host, Thomas Knights, Templar.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Well, as usual, folks, we're going to have a wonderful show here for you tonight. And we have a couple of fabulous guests. We're going to allow them to introduce themselves first, but let me tell you the topic. And the topic is we're going to be talking about hypnosis and reaching the other side through hypnosis. So, without further ado, Geozuwa.
Hi, I'm Geozuwa, Ascended Healer, Master Hypnotist. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
Oh, am I supposed to say anything else?
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know.
You want to tell us a little bit more, and then we'll go over to
Okay,
Mary.
well, I love getting people out of their own way to heal on every level, to be their perfect version of who they can be in this life and beyond.
And that's fabulous. Infinite
Yes.
possibilities.
Thank you. That's true. I love awakening people to the infinite.
I know, that's his famous saying. That's why he said that.
Infinite possibilities.
Right.
Yes.
Infinite possibility. And that's so true.
I think
too.
that's going to be your epithet.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
I
definitely.
really think that.
If you
Definitely.
don't
I
just
think
walk
so.
through the veil, that's going to be on your headstone.
Thank
Okay.
you. Yes.
Oh, great.
Okay, let's go to Mary Silvernail. She's a regular guest. You probably know her, but we still, for those who don't know her, Mary, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm Mary Silvernail, and I'm an Esotreric Astrologer, and I'm also a board-certified clinical hypnotherapist, and I'm a medium and a shaman and a healer and also a teacher, and I'm an instructor also of hypnosis. So anyway, I also lead people to the other side through hypnosis because of my life. I've constantly been in touch with the other side and the angels. So therefore, since I realize the tremendous gift it is to be in connection with our loved ones on the other side.
Yeah, continue.
Oh, okay. So anyway, I have helped people reach the other side to be in connection with their loved ones that have passed and with the angels. Absolutely. And I've been doing that for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever notice that when you do that, and both of you, this is a question for both of you, when
Yeah.
you do that, how much they change?
Oh, absolutely.
They,
Yeah.
they change just by knowing that they, contacted somebody, so they become so much more spiritual. And
Yes.
they start that ascension path, which is so important. I know you do that, George, through your seminars, and Mary does that through her classes and clinical things that you do.
Well, my sessions, I actually have designed a specific session in order to bring someone, actually bring them to meet their loved one, not me as a medium doing it for them and giving them a reading, actually bringing them to the other side so that they're able to have communion with either their angels or their loved one, bringing them to heaven, bottom line.
Well, so many
You know?
people think that when they cross over, it's one life. And they're done.
Yeah.
And this awakens them. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So when someone goes to the other side and then they come back, and you don't have to die to go to the other side. I bring people there all the time.
Yes.
You do not have to
Right.
die. And the fact is, no one ever really dies. You transfer energy and that's it. But when they go to the other side, when I bring them back, they now have, a lot of times healing takes place instantly. It's a beautiful place of pure love, perfect healing. So a lot of times they come back with lifelong conditions
Yeah.
gone, and they never come back. And when they come back, the biggest problems they thought they had are now so trivial.
Yeah.
They have a beautiful awareness that we come from this beautiful, perfect place, and that's where we're going. And 100 years here on Earth is a nanosecond
Over there.
over there. Absolutely. Time doesn't really exist, so. yeah.
They come back also, what I have noticed is there is no longer a fear of
Correct.
dying.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
They
Absolutely.
realize that that is not the end.
No.
Yeah,
That's right.
which is beautiful.
I actually had an experience when I was only 18 months old. I was not hypnotized, but that was my first awakening. And I want to tell you a brief story about that because it was so interesting.
Okay.
My father was watching me, and we were in the basement. And he was a great craftsman, and he was grinding something, and a piece of the steel went in my eye. So now they rushed me to the hospital so I don't go blind. A little baby, and
Yeah.
I'm on the steel table, all the doctors and nurses over me, and the lights, and I was scared to death, of course, kicking and screaming. And next thing I know, when they're coming near me with the pincers to get the thing out of my eye, I was like up there in the corner. And now I have an adult's comprehension, and I'm thinking, who's that baby down there? Oh, that's me. And
Exactly.
So that was out of body. You were
yeah,
out
it was
of body.
out of
Yeah.
body, absolutely. But
Absolutely.
that was the coolest thing
It was
because
out of body. It was out of body, but keep in mind that when you were up in the corner, you were an adult.
Right.
Looking down at an infant, so you were still connected to the previous life.
exactly.
With-
With
at
an
the new life,
understanding.
with the
You're
very
so
Yeah.
right,
Mhm.
Tommy.
Absolutely.
With
Yeah.
an understanding of what she was looking at.
Right.
Yeah.
So now this is what we're talking about. When you're hypnotized and you go to the other side and you can see these other
Yes.
beings, your loved ones, you can see yourself. Perhaps I've traveled back in time and past regressions myself. And when you see the others there and you know you've existed before, I mean,
Well, for somebody who's 3,000 years old, you look pretty good.
oh no, are you kidding me? I'm millions of years old. So yeah, I get it. I really get it. So this is going to be fun. But what else did you want to mention about this? You got anything particular you wanted to talk about?
Well, I'll go on record as I didn't know I was supposed to say everything that I do, so I didn't,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with it. You guys can discover it later. You'll, and I'm sure through the show you'll get something. But I did want to share, since you brought out of body, I did want to share one of my first conscious awareness of being out of body. I'm 6 years old. I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm paralyzed. I'm frozen. I'm struggling. I can't move. Finally, I roll over and I fall to the ground. Now, I couldn't get up. I'm on my hands and knees, but
Yeah.
I look up and in my bed, there I am still sleeping. Now, coming from the hallway, shining into my bedroom is this bright, bright white light. So I crawl into the light, and I can't put it into words, really, the description, just the love, the energy, the frequencies, the sounds. It was just so beautiful. And it has nothing to do with religion, but I look up, and in the threshold of the doorway, Jesus is standing there like this. He puts out his hand, put up mine, he lifts me up. We're encompassed by this white light. We walk through the hallway into the kitchen. He has us stop in front of the refrigerator. The door swings open. At first, it's completely empty. Then it's overflowing. Then we walk to where the wall separating the kitchen and the living room is supposed to be. We're standing there, and where the living room is supposed to be is this vast darkness, complete void, all black, nothing there. I can't tell you for how long we stood there in this white light. Beautiful experience. I stepped back into my body, and from that moment, all of my metaphysical skills and abilities skyrocketed. And I've been doing the metaphysical ever since with absolute awareness. And now, as an adult, through hypnosis, I'm able to teach others how to do the same things and have
Yes.
similar experiences.
It's
Right,
funny
that's
because as you
exactly
were
right.
telling- As you were
Absolutely.
telling that story, I was getting Gabriel was what you.
How about that?
Oh, there were a lot with me. And so my spirit guide, so fast forward to several years ago, I have a girl, 16 years old. Her foster parents brought her to me for hypnosis, for confidence. So I bring her to hypnosis. I'm doing a session to build her confidence. And I said, you know what? Let me bring her to the other side. Because I've been doing it up to that point with miraculous results. So I bring her to the other side. And a background on the girl, doesn't know anything about religion or spirituality, doesn't read, very intelligent, but doesn't know anything about anything. Definitely doesn't know who
Yeah.
I am. And I bring it to the other side. She tells me she's there with her spirit guide.
Oh,
And her spirit guide knows who I am and, all these things. And at the time, no one knew my soul's name. And the spirit guide said, yes, I know Geozuwa, so on and so forth. And no one at the time, I never shared at that time what my soul's name is. So a little Q&A. And I said, you know what? This is the first time I've done this, and I've been doing it ever since. Ask your spirit guide if she wouldn't mind coming in and speaking to me for a little bit. She said, okay. I said, on the count of 3, tap on the head. Tell her to let me know when she's in. 1, 2, 3, tap on the head. Body shakes, eyes flutter. Hello. Her spirit guide is now in her body, communicating with me directly.
okay.
She told me that she guided the girl to come see me because the girl was seriously considering suicide.
Oh,
and
boy.
And I said, oh, well, how can I help? She said, you already helped with the hypnosis. That was more than enough. And then my spirit guide was there as well. She said, I said, is she available
Yeah.
to come in and speak to me? She said, okay. I said, on count of 3. 1, 2, 3, tap on the head, body shakes, eyes flutter, hello. Now, my spirit guide is inside of this girl communicating with me directly. The girl is no longer in her body. She's on the other side.
Oh, how cool.
So now my spirit guide was saying, I was there when this happened. I was there when that happened. And I'll cut it short, but she said, and I was there when Jesus came to visit you.
Oh, when you were 6.
Yes, and for me, that was like
Yeah.
absolute confirmation.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
confirmation.
Absolute
That's validation.
confirmation.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely.
from the
Oh,
other
yeah.
side.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I agree.
Fabulous. Well, that's the thing. It's kind of like those out-of-body experiences awakened us at an early age.
Yeah.
Did you two have something like that happen also at a
It
very
was a
early
little
age?
bit different, but go ahead. I'm
Different,
sure
yeah.
you're going to.
Tom, tell us.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
yeah.
can make it short.
Yeah.
Tell us the short
The
story.
same type of thing
Uh-huh.
with the sleep paralysis type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing, I saw somebody,
Okay.
and I was frozen and immediately went into prayer
Okay.
to break the bond that they had on me.
Oh,
It took
okay.
about what I would consider, it felt like an eternity, but it was only like a minute. You know, and when I got free of it, you know, I got up and I was like really, I knew that I wasn't with me. I was out of me, and this being was there.
Right, okay.
Was it a being of light? I can't begin to tell you, but I think it was more on the lines of galactic.
Okay.
You know, that's what I think at that time, because it didn't resemble something that you would recognize.
Right, right, okay.
Well,
And
I
it
knew.
kind of scared the hell out of me because I was
Oh,
only
of
about
course.
11 years
And
old.
you know,
Of
and
course.
that's the thing. So yeah, at 11 years old, and even there's a lot of adults that become frightened, especially when you have that sleep paralysis, that dream paralysis. What's actually going on is you're energetically partially out of your body,
Right.
and that's why you can't move, because you're not in your body. So when I tell people, instead of having that fear, because a lot of people try to scream, they try to try to wake up. Instead of doing that, if you get past that without fear, that's a beautiful moment that you can command your energetic body to come out of your physical body and have a beautiful out-of-body
Yeah.
or astral travel
Yeah.
experience.
You
Well,
know-
Absolutely.
including remote viewing.
Sometimes,
Yes.
though, I want to say that sometimes it can be scary because I actually woke up and had like this black shadowy thing on top of me, and it paralyzed me. And I remember screaming "Jesus" in my head because I couldn't talk.
But you couldn't talk. That
Yeah,
happened to me.
I know. And he came and he went, "Brum." He said, I said, why would you ever allow something like that to happen to me? And he goes, so you know you
What it's
never
like.
have anything to worry about, ever, ever, ever.
And that's the
There
thing, you should
go.
never have fear, because
No.
we are of the light. The light is so powerful. And you know what, if you ever have that, if anything ever happens like that, all you have to do is call on the angels, your spirit guides,
Yeah.
call on loved ones, call on me, call on other teachers and guides. They'll show up. I'll show up.
I go to bed
You're
with an entourage.
completely,
I
There you
call
go.
them all in.
Me
I call in
too.
about 20 archangels. My spirit guides, I have 10 million guardian angels in my house and exterior, right, to make sure that nothing cuts in there. Not to mention that I go to sleep, without any kind of worry about anything.
beautiful, beautiful.
Well, my first experience that I recall, okay, was when I was 4 years old. And that was my angel, Carol Ann, who was just there naturally with me. And I come from a very spiritual family, metaphysical family. So they understood. They didn't think it was my imaginary friend, okay? It was Carol Ann. Carol Ann is still with me now. However, from Carol Ann then, I got to meet all the angels, and she would carry me to the other side. So it's been this way since I was 4 years old, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I also do many other things. I mean, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, as you know.
Well, that's why
I
we're
help
teachers.
people-
We were awakened at a
When-
very early
Stop.
age.
Well, I help people
Yeah.
do a lot of things.
Both of
Stop
you
smoking,
do,
things like that.
regression-
Past life
you
regression.
do regressionary work. And a lot of times, like, when you bring somebody to the point of whatever they're there to see you for, they break free of it because you released it.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like releasing
But-
the traumatic, incident at the time that gave them the phobia.
I have to interrupt you. I'm not releasing it. They are.
No, they
I'm
release it.
guiding
You're
them
bringing
so that
through
they
it.
can.
Once they
Yeah.
are there, they're free of it.
Absolutely.
That's
Once
what-
they see it.
Yeah.
Once you see it, then you're released from it. Just like in past life regression, once you see that karma, you're released from it.
I had been, a couple of years back, I went to Geozuwa's seminar that he had in the city. He invited me to come.
Yeah.
And I went there with Josephine and, I forgot her name right now. And we went there. And Geozuwa brings us, he brings you all the way down, deep, deep levels, and then your body's there, and I guess it was, what, the death state?
No, it's not the death state.
No.
No.
It felt like
It's,
something.
yeah, it's the
Sorry.
It felt like the body was cold and I was out.
it's the hypnotic coma state. It's the
Coma.
Esdale state. Yes, and that's actually another area deep in deep hypnosis
Yeah.
where a lot of times healing takes place instantly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then so at that point, then I'll
But see,
separate the
it's
mind from the
that-
body. Yeah,
It's from that I learned to lead through my heart chakra.
beautiful.
So at nighttime, like that, you say you go flying around. Guess
Beautiful.
what? You might see me in passing over there.
Oh, I've seen you. Yes.
I go around. You know, I go do what I got to do. People say to me, goes, "Were you in my room last night?" I said, "Not deliberately." Like, you know, if you ask me to come there, I'll be there.
You know, I know a woman that she was asking me, actually, this was just the other day, and she was asking me, she said, you know, Mary, I don't understand this dream. My father, who is passed, I was trying to call my mother on the phone, who is still here. However, what happened was, when her father answered the phone instead of her mother. Now, understand, she's in the dream state, which is actually, she's in the astral. And I had to explain, and she said, he just wouldn't put my mother on the phone. He kept saying, she can't come to the phone. I said, what it was, I was explaining to her, what it was is that you had moved up to the higher plane, he had moved down, so that the two of you were in connection, whereas your mother was not there. She was
she's in the
still
3D world.
Yeah, exactly, in 3D. So I mean, yeah. So that was, and that then she completely understood. Amazing, isn't it? And all
Absolutely
you
amazing,
do is actually just move a couple of inches above your body, you know.
No.
So it isn't like you're.
Once they experience that, when you do that, once they experience that, it just opens a whole other venue.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know, a whole other venue. People change so dramatically. You see people who are really high-strung and tight and crazy and everything else like that, and considering things like suicide or considering harming themselves or cutting themselves or doing things like that.
Or
And
on
then-
medications that then they don't need anymore. I mean, this is really what happens.
My mother was
Seriously.
like that. Ma, how long have you been taking that medicine? Oh, about 34 years, 35 years. 28 medicines she came to.
Oh, my
28
God.
different medications. I got her down to 7. You know, she said, I had
Wow.
a pain over here. The doctor gives her something.
Yeah.
And then she's on it permanently. And you ever notice that what they do, and you probably know people like this, all of us do, they claim what the doctor tells them.
Oh, absolutely. So that's the
It's a
other
form of
thing.
hypnosis.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I missed
Yes.
what?
what the mind imagines, the body feels. What the mind imagines, the body realizes. So if you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you, "Oh, you have you have these symptoms. All right, this is what it is." They accept it. They believe it, but in their mind's imagination, now they imagine that they have
That's right.
condition X.
That's
Guess
right.
what?
They got
the
it.
body will
Create it.
materialize.
Yeah.
It will manifest that they have condition X.
If
And-
you think
Right.
you
That's how
have
powerful
it,
your mind
if you
is.
think you
Right.
have it, you own it.
And the other thing is that is very important. You're right about the doctor, you guys. However, lots of times when people go for a reading, okay, and you know, you and I talk about this, and then the reader will say, "Oh, you have kidney disease, right?" And yeah, I see kidney disease. They leave there, they really believe they have kidney disease, and guess
Then
what
they do.
happens? Then
They
they
get it.
do, because everything is mind over matter.
Everything.
Mind control.
Everything is here. and
Yes.
here.
If you
So
really-
that's the other thing. So again, what the mind imagines, the body feels, and
Yes.
what the mind imagines, the body realizes. What you imagine, you create. So a lot of people say, "Well, you have this gene or that gene, or it's hereditary."
Yeah.
No, if you believe it is, you're going to have it.
Then it is hereditary.
absolutely.
Then you have it.
You don't
Absolutely.
have to accept it, and you can change
Oh,
anything.
we're all on the same page.
Like this.
Like that.
like this.
Infinite possibilities.
Absolutely.
Infinite possibilities.
Absolutely.
I want to hear you say it, George. Come on, say it.
Change your mind, and your backside will follow.
Hey,
Wait,
that's
wait,
on my
I wanna hear him
side
say
of my
it. Come on.
business. Change
Well,
your
it's true.
mind,
Infinite
change your life.
possibilities.
Okay.
Change your
Exactly the
mind,
truth.
change your life. That's my motto of my
So,
business.
how about this?
Let me ask you a question.
Everything is real.
Yeah. And
Nothing is
everything's not.
real. Nothing is real.
Right.
And everything is real. It's your choice.
Exactly. It's all
Disease
just a
is not re-
hologram.
So that's the other thing. So if you've ever, people go through life, they have certain trauma or they have bad experiences. Again, if someone is holding on to negative thought patterns, fear, anger, guilt, shame, whatever it may be, even if they're not consciously aware of it, it's in the subconscious mind. That's where hypnotists come into play.
Yes.
But when they're focusing on that, or their subconscious mind, it's in the programming, it will manifest in the physical with, skin issues, cancer,
All those
liver
things,
disease,
yeah.
everything.
Oh,
You name it.
unbelievable. Unbelievable. And really, when we're talking about this, it's just such a simple fact to understand.
Yes.
Okay? Really, seriously, that you're creating
creating
whatever your reality is right now, and you can change it at any moment. At any
Any moment.
People,
It's like our mind is a computer. And so garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage
As
in,
simple
garbage
as
out.
that.
That's
right.
Garbage in, garbage out.
That's right.
when people basically wish ill will towards somebody, and they focus on that ill will, they are actually self-hypnotizing themselves,
Yep.
and therefore creating their own
What the
sickness
mind
and-
imagines. So
Yeah.
if you're wishing something bad onto someone else,
Yes.
that's a negative frequency, negative thought pattern, negative imagination is now affecting you.
That's right.
You're affecting yourself by doing that. So I'm glad you brought that up because I just want to say something about karma real quick because there's some people that hold on to karma.
Yes.
Now is the time. If that system ever had a usefulness, it's outlived itself. Right now, we are in a very accelerated ascension timelines. There's infinite timelines, but we are in an accelerated ascension timeline. So
Deliberately accelerated.
absolutely.
Yeah, well, you can
So,
feel how time has
absolutely,
sped up.
Absolutely. And now is the time to absolutely let go of any karmic notion. So when you were saying about wishing, ill wishing on others,
Yeah.
take karma, for example. Like you can have an amazingly good person, no bad intentions, but they hold on to karma. Oh, well, God will get him, or karma, what
Will
goes
get him,
around
yeah.
comes around. Stop.
Stop saying
Let
that.
it
It's gonna
all
come back
go.
to you because
Don't
the
even say
universe-
God will get him. Just
They don't
let
know
it
that
go.
the universe
It's a
doesn't know the
universal law.
difference.
It's a
Exactly.
It
universal law.
doesn't know the difference,
That's-
okay,
So if
between
you're-
if it's about you or you're sending it to somebody else. It's the intention, it's the thought, it's
You want
the
the
energy.
world to be a better place?
Yep.
Let go of the notion of negative karma
Absolutely.
now.
I'm
Please.
glad you brought that up.
Thank you, thank you.
No, thank you for bringing that up.
thank you. Thank you for being here. Oh, it's not my show.
Well, we're glad you came in because we haven't had you on since pre-COVID.
You mean the fake pandemic?
Yeah.
The plandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
yeah.
pandemic.
Plandemic.
Everything's here and here.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I had something I wanted to ask you too about that.
Like
know-
a question?
Yes, it was
Oh,
a
okay.
question. Okay.
Well,
You
here's,
want-
I was going
No,
to
I had a
just
question to ask you,
interject.
too.
Yeah. No. I was going to interject because of what Adolphina was
Mm-hmm.
talking about before with you. If you were going to touch on that subject
We're going to
with
touch
all
on
of
that
us,
in a minute,
yeah.
but I wanted to ask you a question.
What's
sis.
that?
When you were up in the corner of the room in
Mm-hmm.
an emergency, did you feel the pain of what was going on in your eye as an
Not
adult?
at all.
No.
Okay.
not at all.
Pain is not real.
So
It feels real,
it
but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
She was an infant, so of
Yeah.
course it's going to be.
Well, that's why I feel it's very important. What do they teach you in school? Really nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing of value, basically.
more.
But I believe that every child, on their own timeline, on their own, according to however their awareness is growing, but from the earliest stages, you should learn that you don't have to hold on to pain, that you can heal yourself, that you can heal others,
Right.
that you don't have to be bound by your circumstances, your situations, or trauma. Problem solving, coping skills.
It was you that got me to start every day to remove the battle scars
Awesome.
from fighting on the other side
Awesome.
all the time with them. You know, and I always tell her, she said, you know, I feel a little stiff on to get rid of your battle armor. Get rid of your battle scars. And then you do that. And, you know, I get up in the morning. Sometimes I'm mangled. Like, you know, like I've been battling and stuff, you know.
Oh,
and then-
because of where we go on the, at night. Yeah.
Yeah, there have been times I've
We're
woken
doing
up
that
with
battle.
bites.
This
with
goes for
wounds.
both of you. That's for one at a time. When you have somebody under hypnosis and you're just doing whatever it is that, and all of a sudden, has anyone ever started to speak to you as a different person within that person?
Yes.
Have you had that happen too?
Absolutely. And,
Yeah.
you know, that's another thing. So where you have, let's say, schizophrenia,
Yeah.
90% of schizophrenics are not actually schizophrenic, whatever it is. They usually have attachments,
Attachments,
discarnate spirits that haven't crossed over. A lot of times, other entities from other dimensions, not necessarily evil or bad. Are there demonic possessions? Yes. Sometimes there. I've done depossessions. Most of them are all discarnate spirits that, for whatever reason, haven't crossed over. And then there's some entities from other dimensions that just got stuck here and attached to someone, and then I'll just open up a portal and send them through, and the
Yeah,
person
that's
heals.
That's the kind of thing that I have run into. What about you, Matt?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But not just in hypnosis sessions. I mean, people come to
Regular
me
reading?
that people come to me for me to remove their attachments. Okay, now I'm not talking about, you know, like I'm very selective in reference to that of what work I will do, but I use a form of Native American healing to be able to remove the attachment, and then I do a ceremony that I send it up. But during a hypnosis session, yes, and I'll tell you when especially past life regression, okay? I don't know if you have noticed that, because when they're out there, there are so many that then come in from those other lifetimes that then also want to speak
wanna speak.
because they opened up that portal. Do you know what I'm saying?
Now, are you saying that the person's previous life that comes in with them? With
Not
that,
just that. No, I
Okay,
know.
so you're
no,
referring
no.
to-
No, I'm talking
Other-
about sometimes they also have the other soul entity, okay, the other entities that had been in that previous lifetime with them that then try to speak through them.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
know if you've ever experienced
Yes,
that, but I
yes,
have.
Yes.
Huh?
Because they're under. They
Yeah,
feel they
exactly,
can.
because
Yeah.
they're at that
Right.
level.
Yeah.
And in reference to the schizophrenia, I'm in total agreement with you, okay? Because let's face it, there were a lot, you know, when people were gifted, okay, such as like what happened to you when you were little, all of us, okay, what had happened to us, yeah, they'd put them in a mental institution.
I know.
You know what I mean?
And
Years
then
ago,
they gave
no,
them
I'm really
lobotomies.
serious.
I mean, and
So then we'd all
lobotomies.
be considered,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my
No,
God.
think about it way back when.
Electroshock therapy.
Yeah,
So-
I know.
I watched the Three
Yeah,
Stooges.
you'd
That's
like
why-
to do that, wouldn't you? When he gets
man.
mad at me, he likes to
No.
A
do
little
that.
stimulation, that's all.
Yeah, a little whack to the head or
A
something,
little
you
cow
know.
prod, you know, to the side.
But you know, I know just what you're talking about, Mary, because I was in a place. It was actually a wellness center, and the woman said, she said, I feel uncomfortable, and I said, I do too, and she says, yeah, I've been told by a psychic that came in that I have tons of spirits that are trapped here, and I said, well, no longer, and I cleared the space, and she says, oh my God, it feels so cold. I said, well, you know, the higher energies are colder, the lower energies are hot. And she was scared that they were going to come get her, basically, because she didn't think it was that easy. So I said to her, are you kidding me? Tom and I, every year since 9/11, of course, there were millions and millions of spirits. I said, this is my
And they
a
couldn't get up out of
forte.
bed for 2 days.
I know, of course, yeah, because it carried such a weight with that.
It was the first time we did it. Wow. It was like, you ever see the lights on the LA freeway?
Yep.
It was just like unbelievable, unbelievable.
He was seeing it as motorcycles with different color headlights.
No, but like the cars on the highway
Yeah.
going. But I was seeing like they were going so fast that it almost looked like fiber optics.
But you know what? I didn't see it that way. Have you been to the Coliseum?
In Rome?
In Rome?
No, I have not.
Well, I've been
Not
there.
in the physical, in this reality, I
Okay,
have not.
but you've been there in other lifetimes. Okay, well, what I was seeing at that same
Did you
time,
burn
and
down the city Nero?
No, I did not do that.
Oh, okay.
I
You
still
do
can,
it.
can still see it now when we do it. It's like the Colosseum with all the doorways that, you know, that you see in pictures and movies and so forth. And the spirits were going into the different doorways based on their vibrational frequency. Wherever they were supposed to go, they
were
went
going,
through that doorway. That was pretty cool. So,
We both had a similar type of thing. I was just saying dispersed like crazy.
yeah.
But that first one, oof,
I know that we carried that for 2 or 3 days. I was exhausted. I remember that. Yeah,
then
the
after
first
that, we
one.
made sure we used God's energy when we sent them.
Yeah,
the
that's
second
awesome.
time.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
other thing. But even your energy is infinite.
Yeah, it's
So once you
infinity.
accept that, you believe, you
Yes.
expect, you know that your energy is infinite. You have source energy within you. God's energy is within you. It's outside of you. Outside of you, it's infinite. Within you, it's infinite. It can never be depleted. So it's unfortunate that a lot of healing modalities, they do teach, well, you know, you have to then recharge, you have to do this. If you're in a state of knowing and you know that it's infinite,
Yes.
can never be depleted, you won't have to experience that ever again, that exhaustion.
100%.
Yes, absolutely.
100%.
And
In
is
fact,
it,
Dad, when we did it, we are not like where we are now.
right, well,
well,
yes,
we
and I'm glad
started
you're
that.
here, and I'm glad
Right.
you're
That
here.
was,
Yeah,
that was what,
yeah.
2011, 2012?
How many years ago was
Oh, a
that?
lot-
Yeah, that
long
was a
time
long
now.
time
That
ago.
was in the very beginning
Right.
of the show.
Yeah, don't tell us how many years.
How many years was
Well,
that,
we
man?
know we've been here 10
I'm
minutes.
only 29, so how long has it been for you guys? Because I,
Hey, listen, I'm still 16, but yeah.
oh, little sweet 16.
And I'm a
Yeah.
crazy
She is.
snatcher. So
Your
you
next
did, man.
birthday, we're going to put that on your cake, sweet 16.
Wait, when is your birthday?
Coming
I don't
up.
usually tell people.
Oh, then don't
But
tell
I've
anyone.
told it so many times on this show.
both
My
Taurus.
birthday, we're
Oh,
both Taurus.
Taurus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're
You
two
guys are okay
Taurus
then.
girls.
Yeah.
You guys
yeah.
are okay.
Okay,
As long as
why?
there's no
When's your
Sagittarians
birthday?
here.
You
Oh,
know
goodness.
You
Right.
knew he's
You
a
knew that,
Sag. What sign are you?
I'm a Libra
Oh,
with a Libra
where?
rising.
Where? Oh, yeah, we talked about
Of course
this a
we did. In
long
many
time ago,
realities
you
we
and
have.
I.
Absolutely.
Okay, so are you in October or September?
September.
Oh, okay.
That's
My
where
wife's
the,
in October.
well, the good oh, never mind.
Never
Well,
mind.
you don't have to tell me.
Yeah, I
live
know.
it.
I know. I already know. Okay. Remember, I'm an astrologer.
Of course, of course.
And Adolphina is an April Taurian, and I'm a May Taurian. Yeah. So
Interesting.
there's,
Oh,
yeah.
wait a minute. That means my cake will say sweet 16 too because we share a cake.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. Well, not that I put any weight into astrology or anything. What does it really mean? But I do have my birth chart tattooed on my back.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You don't
Thank
put
you.
any-
No weight into it, but
no
it is
weight
tattooed
into
on my
it
back.
And when
your
they
back.
decipher it, it says, if this hypnotist,
makes sense to
if
you.
this hypnotist should ever roam, slap his ears and send him home.
That's right.
That's what
So I appreciate that. I like that.
Thank you.
I love it, actually. Okay. I don't think
didn't
I ever
realize you
met
were into
anybody
that.
with their
Do you
chart.
actually? I
Me
mean,
either.
are you?
On
You're
their
not an astrologer
tattooed.
too,
I
right?
am not.
Okay.
And
Okay.
regardless of what your chart says, you can change anything like this.
Yes, you can. Well, you have free will. Of
course.
And that's
So
why.
it's usually just like a guideline for a lot
That's
of
all.
people. Yeah.
That's all. That's all. I'm an esoteric astrologer.
Okay.
An esoteric astrologer is a soul astrologer. So even though I'm a professional astrologer and I can tell you, what's coming up or what has happened in your life or where you are now, I'm also looking at all your lifetimes there. Okay, that's the esoteric part. I just read a soul.
Oh, I remember when you did my
Yeah.
first chart. You
Shit, the
said,
thing fell.
"Oh, I guess an earring fell off." I don't know how that happened, but anyway.
Somebody behind you.
Yeah.
Okay, who's there?
Yeah, we're talking about all those souls. Yeah.
Penny
But-
from heaven.
I remember when you did my first chart and you said, "Oh, look there, the finger of God. You just might ascend there." I remember.
You remember that?
Well, that was
the
that was
first
key,
time.
Mary.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
was key.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
yeah, that's the truth. Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
noticed?
remember that. That was right in here, right? In the other room
Yeah, I
in
think
here.
we were talking
one
about
night.
it here.
Yeah, before a show. Go ahead.
I've listened to many people do different meditations. I primarily listen to like a Neville Goddard or someone of his caliber,
Yeah.
a Castanedas or somebody like that. And I listen to that, and it's always the same relaxation methods that we use in hypnosis. All right, it's just under the guise of doing a guided meditation with a bunch of people.
Oh, there's a difference.
There is
Yeah,
a difference, but
difference.
it is the relaxation part of it is the same.
You're right.
Well,
it's a progressive
yes.
It's a-
relaxation.
that's exactly right.
Yes,
Right, but then
I
there's
agree
also
with you about that,
sessions
Tony.
of hypnosis where we do instant hypnosis, which I teach in my certification
I
courses.
know, I
It's-
know, I
It's
know,
like
I know,
this,
I know.
right in.
You know?
But you don't have to be relaxed either to be in a beautiful state of hypnosis.
You could be awake,
yes.
wide awake.
Yes.
I was telling Mary just last night, I was watching 2.5 Men, okay? And Charlie was having a problem. Every time he
He's
was
making
trying to
me
be with
laugh.
somebody, he kept on seeing his mother.
Oh, no.
So, and all of a sudden, he wasn't able to do anything.
Okay.
Okay, so he's out. He went to see a psychiatrist. It didn't work. He's out in the backyard, and Rose, the girl who's always there, right? She's a psychologist. She took hypnosis in college, and she put him under.
Okay.
Now you know that Rose has got an attachment on him, and she does this thing, and the next thing you know, Charlie's back to himself. He's with somebody, right? But what was funny about it is that Rose picks up the cell phone, dials his number. He answers the phone. He goes,
I missed that one.
It
I
was
missed that one.
hilarious. And he instantaneously knew what she did.
Oh my gosh!
Could you imagine
know,
that? Can you imagine that?
I missed that one.
That was funny. I'm telling you. That was
I
really
have
funny.
people come in my office like to stop smoking or whatever, phobia, whatever, fear of flying. So they come in and they're a nervous wreck. Like I just had a client yesterday just for smoking and nervous wreck. I mean, nervous wreck. By the time she left, she was like completely, But the whole thing is I have to explain to them, no, I'm not going to make you quack like a duck or
Well,
do
that's
the what?
That's the other thing.
You
It's another
know?
misconception. You can't make anyone do anything.
Anything.
They have to want to.
Yes.
They have to
I'm
accept it.
telling you.
Yes.
Well, what about the Maturian candidates then? The brainwashed folks that,
Okay, so that's a
Okay.
whole
Yep.
That
other.
also involved
Okay.
drugs.
Yeah, and not
Yeah.
just because that involves a lot of trauma. I mean,
Yeah.
you're using a lot of trauma to create, your disassociation to create that extra personalities. There's sometimes several personalities.
It's that buffer zone.
And so that's completely different, and that's very, very
Well, I'm
evil. and
glad you
negative.
explained it. That's
Evil
why I
and
wanted
negative.
to ask.
Yeah.
So one of the main
Uh-huh.
rules for anyone in this life is to never control anyone else. Never try to control anyone else.
No.
The only person you should control is you.
Mm-hmm.
Control yourself, your mind, your thoughts, your intentions, your reality.
That's right.
No one else's. Please.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because it's only going to come back at that
look at
person
the
like we were
bombardment.
saying anyway.
Like we were
right?
talking about this
Right.
me and you once before, and so with sis too. Look at the bombardment on TV.
Yeah.
Here's a book that Mary had given me, and I was reading it. It's about hypnosis. And there was a guy in the 50s, and he was on one of the early talk shows. I think it was Jack Parr. And he was on the show, and they had a stage hypnotist. And he was doing some funny stuff and everything else like that. And the guy came and sat down, and he realized, because this is the early days of TV and reaching X amount of people who could afford a TV back then. And he said, through this venue, this could be a dangerous weapon because it could be weaponized, and it has been ever since
Yes, it has.
through the media.
There's
They
so
put
much.
so
yeah.
much fear in you every single day that is not true.
Yeah, that's true.
But these people think, well, they're on TV, they're on the news, they got to be speaking the truth. No, they lie because they tell you what they want you to know. There's only certain people paying them from behind the scenes. 6 corporations own all the media. You think there's not going to be any collusion?
There used to be 1,500, and they all bought them up.
1,600.
Yeah, 1,600.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not just the repetitive, the programming, and that's why they're called programs, because they're programming
Right.
whoever's watching it. But on top of that, you have all of the frequencies that they're putting in, and a lot of frequencies that you can't detect them. Some people say, oh, they're not putting out frequencies. I work here. No, they're putting out low vibration frequencies.
That's right.
They're putting it into products because, for one, the power of your mind. You could drink a. Don't do this. Anyone at home, please do not do this.
Oh, yeah.
You could drink a gallon of poison if you're in a state of knowing. and be perfectly fine if you're in a state of knowing. That's how powerful your mind is. That's how powerful your energy is. Now, the thing is, though, these powers behind the powers, the darkness, they're putting negative intentions into every product, everything they're doing. And just because they tell you it's going to cause this problem, that problem, or it may cause this, that's also part of the programming, because once people see that, they latch onto, hey, this causes cancer, but I'm doing it anyway, so guess what? They're already accepting that they're going to have it.
Yeah, this is their pet
That
thing.
is the truth.
Let me tell you something. They have been trying to find a cure. They find a cure for nothing, okay? Your body doesn't have these synthetic chemicals in it to begin with that they try to treat it with. We dropped a bomb on 2 places in Japan 75 years ago, and these people are still sick from it.
We've always had the cures.
Why do you think that would work now? Okay, why do you think that would work now? I am definitely a proponent of not doing that, but that's just me. I speak for myself.
God has given us on earth here a cure for any ailment. The Native American people know that.
Yes.
The people in Africa know that. Okay, of the tribes, of the original, any medicine people know that,
There was
And it's here.
Just an FYI, the history that everyone believes that is our history is so far, far, far from the truth. And every continent, everyone has known everything and how to do everything, except the history that you think we have. It has been destroyed by those powers, for the last, depending on the reality you're in, for several thousands of years. The darkness has been in control of these false realities, trying to hold on to their power. Because the moment the battle begun, the battle between good and evil, light and darkness, we won. It was like this, quicker than a nano moment. We won the battle.
And it was
done.
All of these are just residual false realities that the darkness is trying to, because anything created will fight for its continued existence. And this is their struggle. And right now, it's a beautiful time to be alive, because their struggle is over, because we're transmuting it all. Ascension is now. Believe it, expect it, absolutely know it. Now is the time for everyone to evolve to the highest levels.
Absolutely.
To walk along that higher path.
George,
agree.
what I have noticed over the years, and I've taught for many years metaphysics, hypnosis, etc. Okay, and what I have noticed is my students, it's always coming back to me that it's like a remembrance that they feel. So it isn't like they're learning. Haven't you noticed that?
absolutely.
It's
They
just a
experience what they-
remembrance because they've already knew it. Okay, so I agree 100% with
Well,
what you're
thank you.
saying.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
You know what?
Yeah,
You're
we're on
good
the same
too.
page.
I agree with you too.
We are on the same
all agree with
page.
each other.
Here's another thing, because
There's a bunch
there's
of bomb throwers here.
infinite possibilities. There's
no,
infinite
it's
realities.
true.
Kidding.
So one of the possibilities as well is we have already experienced all of this. Like right here, we're sitting here right now.
Yeah.
This is just us on the other side getting together again in the physical reality. This is a memory. But we're already there.
Yeah.
We're on the other side, just reliving these moments that happened a million years ago, a billion years ago.
Replaying
I
the
love when they
tape.
say that
Yeah.
the Earth has only been 10,000 years. 10,000 years.
Oh, no,
Eternal
come on.
and
Come on.
infinite.
Come on.
I love it when they say the earth is flat. I mean, I just,
Wait a second, Adolphina.
Well-
What reality are you in? Because
Well,
there
yeah.
are an infinite set of infinite realities where the Earth is flat.
is that right?
Absolutely.
that
I'm
on
sorry, but I
Superman.
have to
I
agree
saw
with you on
Superman
that
when he
too.
imprisoned the
Adolphina, I'm
people.
sorry,
They
but
on the album cover flying
Do you
around.
know that there are people alive today that learned this in school, that the Earth is flat? Not that you're going to fall off if you get to the end. There's more continents. I think Japan just discovered 72 or 7,200 more islands.
I
Yeah,
believe
that
it's
they
just
have-
another reality.
There's another reality. So reality is collapsing in on each other. So you have infinite realities, and a lot of them vibrating on similar frequencies are now collapsing towards that beautiful ascension timeline, which we've already experienced.
Yes.
We're just here hanging out, having a good time.
That's right.
Even if it feels sometimes a little heavy and sometimes you have a little pain. But listen, it's like this. Just let it all go. Enjoy
That's it.
the process, because ascension is now.
That's true.
Before
That's true right now.
Before we get too late into the show, Joshua, tell us about the project you have going on down south, down Florida.
Oh, okay, the community that I'm building.
Yes.
Okay, so the community I'm building, self-sufficient homesteads where I have highly qualified volunteers, light workers, taking in foster kids from the earliest stages, babies, toddlers, infants, and raising them with, real love, nurturing, guidance, their own gardens, learning valuable life skills, our own schools where they're learning from the earliest stages, hypnosis, meditation, martial arts, coping skills, problem solving, critical thinking, thinking for themselves. So they're growing with real confidence, strength, and courage, and knowing who they are, and they're growing with
Building
self-love.
tomorrow's leaders.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We want to create generations of beautiful, higher vibrating humans.
But it's all self-contained.
Oh, absolutely.
Talk about the other things that are part of the
Oh,
community.
there's so much in the community. But okay, yes. So we also, in the part of we have our own farms and, of course, animals, sheep, goats, camels,
Yeah.
alpaca. You love the camels.
Yeah.
The alpacas are there. But so everything is self-sustaining. We have a holistic retreat, spa, resort, where everyone from all over the world will come and detox from the world, everything that's out there, where our community will be working, all various healing modalities. And then we have also, in part of the community, we have group homes for disabled veterans, young adults aging out of the foster care, trafficking, sex trafficking survivors, all a part of the community, all healing and growing together. And I mean, there's so much more involved, and there's so much more to the community. We even have a free daycare where, in order for low-income families, but in order for their children to go, they have to go to our parenting courses. So in the parenting courses, in the daycare, they're also learning valuable life skills, growing their own food, and really to think and act with love and kindness, get past
Get past the vigor of all of this life.
all of the
And a holistic hospital. If
Oh,
I
a holistic
recall.
hospital, yes.
And all kind of fruit trees and food. I just love this idea. This is going to be a role model for the world. To
Oh,
follow.
absolutely. It's-
Role
There's gonna
model.
wind
Role
up being-
model.
Like I said, it'll wind up being, I don't want to use the word franchise, but it'll be in different states.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
all over the world.
All
So
over the place.
this first one's going to be in Florida because that's where I am right now, and I've already spoke to some investors and donors, and it's happening. We have 1,339 acres. It's happening.
This
That's a good
best of
thing.
luck with this. This
This
is
is-
fabulous.
This is a beautiful thing. It really is. And anything that you could do for children, for disabled veterans, for abused children, people who are trafficked. I mean, they've been through the gamut of the negativity that this world can be. And to go to a place like this and have this kind of interior healing brings the blessings out to everybody else as they grow spiritually. And that's the beauty of this whole thing. I also wanted to say that Geozuwa does have a book. It's called The Otherside, Visit Now. And I tell you, I read this book several times, and do use your techniques.
Oh, thank you.
I do.
Thank you.
I do that. And any information on where you can get this or anything like that, you just contact us here at the studio, and we'll be glad to send that information along to you. All right. Also, Sis is going to take on teaching again, right?
Yes, as my husband was diagnosed with cancer, and so I dropped my teaching. I only kept the TV show because it was, a long period of time. And I keep hearing from God and the Spirit, get back
You've
to
been hearing
work.
from me. How many times have I been telling you?
I know,
Stop
you've
that
been
stuff.
telling me for so long, but I
They
wasn't
bow.
ready.
They talk to me and they tell. Would you tell her? Would you tell her?
How many lifetimes were you guys together?
I don't know.
Annoying each other.
Annoying each other. Well, we have a lot
Oh,
of
my
fun,
gosh.
but
Oh,
sometimes, sometimes I kick him under the table,
Maybe you should kick him harder.
I know, I'm telling
He
you.
could take it.
Infinite realities. I don't feel it.
Absolutely.
She
You don't
kicked
have
me
to
3
feel it.
dimensions from now.
Right,
You know?
right, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to mention, we were talking about the frequencies being sent out from the TV, and that's one of the reasons I had stopped watching TV. One night, my late husband and I, we were sitting there, and we're watching this movie, and suddenly I started to feel sick, and it was a character, I'm not going to mention the movie, but it was a character who was sending out frequencies for healing for the man. And all of a sudden, I felt so sick, and he did too. So at that time, I remember I asked on social media, did anybody watching this movie feel sick? And I got so many people that said yes, from people who were sensitive to energy, like
yeah.
we are, you know, light workers, healers,
Or
etc.
people who just thought the movie really stunk and they just said, oh, it made me sick.
Oh, no,
sick, yeah.
no, I mean, literally,
What about that
physically
one you
made us
told me
sick.
about? Was that the same movie?
No.
'Cause that
no.
thing was a real stinker.
No, don't be silly.
You know that's interesting that you bring that up, because it's one of the things that I do with my group, where I guide them to channel pure love, healing energy
Yeah.
from the source. But I also encourage them to send that energy to actual characters, TV programs.
Oh, yeah?
Even though they're not, it's a program, it's
Yeah.
not real.
Yeah.
But guess what? It is affecting people.
Oh, yeah.
So I throw a lot of suggestions in there, but we transmute it, that whatever's coming out of TV, but we also heal characters, even characters in books. And what are the benefits? Even if it's not doing anything there, you're doing it for yourself, and you're doing it for everyone around you, the entire world.
Especially if you're reading the book
Oh, yeah.
and you feel that negativity, and then you're absolutely sending it
Yeah, so-
out.
That's a good idea. I never
Absolutely.
thought about doing
Yeah.
that.
Take it and run
I
with
never
it.
thought about
Take
that.
it. Well, you're starting to teach again, right?
Yeah.
Teach your. I was going to say kids, but teach your students that.
Well, they are kids.
Okay.
You know, anybody who comes to help,
Oh,
they're
she's a couple
kids. They're
thousand
our
years
kids.
old, that's why.
Billions of years old, not
There you
thousands.
go.
Sweet 16.
If they cut her in half, they can't count the rings. There's too many.
Oh boy.
Infinite
boy.
rings.
Yep.
See,
Anyway,
that's a kick under the table right there.
you missed me. You missed me. All right. Unreal. So, Mary, anything like that happen when you do multiple sessions with like a lot of people?
I was telling you, I'm booked through
No, I know you're
April.
booked as far as individual, but I'm saying a group.
Oh
session.
yeah, I do workshops, and plus I teach a lot of different classes. You know that.
Are you asking if
And
she does group
teach-
hypnosis,
What do you mean?
That
past
too.
regression?
You know, and anything like if you have multiple people who come to you and they're
Yes.
taking a seminar and you're going to be doing something.
Yes,
Or speaking.
absolutely,
But
absolutely.
didn't you just have-
Actually,
you
in
just- you just-
April.
You just had one, didn't you?
Huh?
Didn't you do
Yes, I
something?
did. Yes, I did.
100
In
people.
Forked
Nice,
River.
nice,
Yes, I
very
did.
nice.
It was. They couldn't let any more in. That's usually what happens when I do a live event.
Beautiful.
And I'm doing another live event in Toms River actually in April.
Any
and that
information
one
you
is.
want on that, just contact Mary.
Yeah,
here.
that's all about angels.
Yeah.
So that's what that's on. But I also do mediumship works where I'm going through the audiences. Yeah, and prior to COVID, I was always doing live events. But I also have group sessions in my office and workshops and psychic development and. All that kind of stuff. Plus, all the things I teach.
Yes,
For
I
goodness
do.
sake, okay? I mean, I've been doing this my whole life.
One of the first workshops, I remember we did this. It wasn't actually a workshop here, but everybody was here, our helpers, our tech people. And I remember I taught them how to pull out their angel wings. And I didn't introduce them. I didn't have the time to their angels and so forth. Maybe even get a hug, from their angels. But if the funniest thing, do you remember them ducking through the doorway?
Over here.
Because I would have
Turning-
them
I
walk
turned
through the doorway
sideways.
and everybody would do this,
I walked to the door. I turned sideways to go through. And I said to myself, why am I doing this?
And I would have everybody walk through the doorway. What's funny, I only ever had one person be afraid. But, anyway, I think that's going to be my first little workshop
Oh,
there.
good, nice.
Yeah,
very
this
nice.
way, for the newbies,
We're getting
they'll be
short. How much
interested
time
in
we got,
that,
Chris?
Yeah.
We have 3 minutes. Joshua, you got a minute.
Okay, well-
where you going to be?
Well, actually, this weekend I'm doing the 2-day workshop that I do, the healing workshop and ascension training.
Okay.
Where I get people out of their own way to heal on every level, to be their perfect selves. I could tell you at the end of the first day where I take people to the higher states of awareness to connect to source, channel that energy through to everyone in the room. And people that have come there suffering their entire lives with allergies, asthma, diabetes, incurable conditions, gone. And they never come back. And then on the second day, I teach them how to connect to source through self-hypnosis, not only to heal themselves, but to powerfully heal others.
That's it.
And they've gotten rid of deathbed cancer, physical deformities, you name it, they've done it.
I've seen things happen, especially when I'm doing healings. I had somebody in Florida, it was stage 4. And the sister called me up, and the woman just retired and never knew it. And did some healing on her, kept on going to her a couple of times. And she went for her latest thing, and it wasn't there.
Yep.
So, this is
And
kind
that's
of
the thing. Everything works.
Yeah.
So everything works. It's intention. If you have the intention of truly healing, you can go to anyone.
That's right.
And you will be healed.
That's right.
If you have that intention, if you're put yourself in a state of knowing, if you truly want to heal,
Mm-hmm.
you will heal. Everything works.
The truth of the matter
Everything's
is,
here.
it's coming from them, like what we
Absolutely.
were talking about
Absolutely.
before.
Absolutely.
Because if the person is not open to it or willing, I got to tell you, I watch miracles happen every day in my office because I do so many different things. You know, Tommy, I've shared so many things with you about that.
Vice versa.
You know, I know, absolutely. And this is real. This is real. This is the truth. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But it isn't, and it doesn't matter really who you go to.
No, it doesn't.
As long as you
Yeah, absolutely.
yourself
And as long as-
believe.
yes,
All right,
everything
we got a
works.
minute here, so let me interrupt us here. I want to thank our guest, Geozuwa, and
Thank you.
Mary Silvernail for being here
Thank you.
tonight. It is always
My pleasure.
a great show when we have these two here. I like to thank Sis for sitting next to me and not kicking me tonight. Okay?
You've been a good boy tonight.
I was good tonight. Okay? And you can view this show next Friday. It'll be on at 9 p.m. here on Staten Island, and soon to be on YouTube under the show title name. Spectrum Channel here, 79, and Files Channel 35. All right? Good night, everyone. Let's wave. Say good night. Good night. Many blessings. Happy
night,
St.
everyone.
Patrick's
Many
Day
blessings.
from all of us here. Music, maestro.